Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to ETH Talk, your weekly look at the ETH Online markets. And last week the CSM minutes were released. Now I'm actually reading another book, Warhammer 40k book, so I really haven't had time to go through more than 100 pages of minutes about ETH Online and the development and stuff like that. But I'm definitely going to try and make some time for it, because I think it's pretty interesting and it can always give you an idea of what the next plans are for CCP. And we do know from a lot of forum activity that POS changes are not a high priority anymore for them, and they think it's not really going to be worth it. And not that many players agree with that. I think a lot of players would like to see the modular POSes, but yeah, for the market guys, of course, we know now that Galente fuel blocks, they're probably not going to move too much in the near future, since we probably aren't going to see POS revamping too soon yet. Moving on to the usual Tritanium, let's have a look at that chart. Well, still hugging that 6 ISK mark. Let's have a quick look at what it's doing in Jita Station. 594 and 592 for the buyer, so once again no margin whatsoever, but 594, I think 0.2 cents less than last week, which you can also maybe see a little bit at the chart. It's going down just a touch, but really there's hardly any movement. It's pretty much normal demand and supply fluctuations, hardly worth mentioning actually. Let's move on to Pyrite, which, well, it wants to go up, but that 14 ISK does seem to be a point it can't really break too well. Let's have a look at what the prices are in Jita Station. 14.33 for the sellers, 14.17 for the buyer. So once again, hardly any margin and pretty much normal prices around 14 ISK. Next up, Mexalon. 50.81, 50.80, so that should be down quite a bit actually. Yep, that downward movement for Mexalon is still going on, dipping below, well, heading towards 50 on the Jita prices, and the chart needs to catch up to that still. It's still holding on just below 55, so that's pretty interesting. I'm not sure what is making this Mexalon drop so much, but that does mean that it's not the right time to be mining any Plagioclasse. The only theory I can think of at the moment would be that someone has mined an enormous amount of it and is now unloading its Mexalon stocks while they were above 60 ISK, causing other people to follow in and then increasing the supply so much that the price is now dropping quite severely actually. 50 ISK is actually the price we saw like a year ago, so that's pretty interesting. Let's have a look at some other minerals then. Megasite. On a yearly basis it's not that high, but it has recovered a little bit and it's now trending back down towards 2000 ISK. Let's have a quick look at Noxium, which is actually pretty high, starting the year below 500 and now holding on maybe 750, 760, something like that. I would say close to 800 though. So that is decently high for Noxium, which is, I think, one of the minerals that's seriously cutting into the profits for manufacturers. Quick look maybe at Zydrine, which I think was requested last week. Let's see, just above 800 ISK, pretty much where it was a year ago. I would say it's known another uptick as well, probably due to the expansion, and it's now slowly going back down again. Let's have a look at price in Jita. 789.55 for the sellers and 789.51 for the buyer. So yeah, there's no margin whatsoever, just 0.4 ISK on something that's worth almost 1000 ISK. That's nothing. And so these are market driven prices. I don't think these are speculatory prices, and we'll have to wait and see what it does. I can't really give any speculation on that because I don't really I haven't really looked too much into the Zydrine market myself, but I know that the person requesting it made an investment in it, and at the moment it seems to be going down just a little bit, but of course if you can wait long enough, it's pretty obvious with the uptick you can see here at October, just at the start of October, that the next expansion will probably know a similar uptick as well. This is something that comes back regularly. So it might not have been a bad investment actually. If you look on a 1 year chart, if you could have bought it below 800 ISK, historically speaking, that was not a bad price at all. So yep, there you go, that's the Zydrine market, and a look at basically the mineral markets in general. Moving on to the Tech 1 chips, yeah, we're seeing the Drake pulling back a little bit as well, just like Mexalon has, and some of the other minerals are pulling back slowly. Let's have a look at a larger Tech 1 chip, the Maelstrom. It's less pronounced, but you can see the same uptick due to the expansion, and then right here at the tail end, maybe it's more visible on a 3-month chart. Yeah, you can see that it's slowly going back down a little bit. So I would say for miners it's still decently stable, but probably your net profits are going down very slightly. Nothing too serious though. Moving on to the Guardian Tech 2 ship. Still a corrupted data point there. Let's have a look at a 3-month chart. Whoa, so flat. That's very unusual for the Guardian compared to what it was last year. Extremely flat, below 130 million. Let's have a quick look at prices in station then. 119 for the buyers and 123.5 for the sellers. So that margin has closed back down, probably cut in half from last week. And yeah, I think that might have been some people just trading in when the margin was at 6-7 million, and now it's back down again. So I wouldn't be trading in the Guardian for the next week. Let's have a quick look at the other ones. The Basilisk 125, 128, no margin there either. The Oneros 132, 144. The Oneros might still be trade worthy, but I do think that the Oneros is the one with the smallest amount being traded every day, so that's of course a disadvantage. And the Scimitar 125.6, 134, so that's still decent. If you have some money to invest in the Tech 2 market, I'd be looking at the Scimitar and a bit of Oneros trading on the side at the moment. Moving on to Tech 3, melted nano ribbons. What are these guys doing? Slowly going up still, so that's pretty interesting. The Tech 3 market seems to have known like a bottom around the expansion, whereas Tech 1 has known a serious uptick. Tech 3 has known a bottom, and it's now slowly recovering back. It's going to be interesting to see if it can break that 6 million or not. Currently it's holding at around 5.5 million. Let's have a look at the Loki. Pretty much the same. You can clearly see the bottom just before the expansion, and then it's slowly trying to crawl back up, but not very steady just yet. Let's have a look at the Tengu finally, which, well, we know that that one's been going down for quite a while. There was a slight uptick, but now it's trending back down again, so it's hard to say exactly what's going on with the Tech 3 market. Is it because of increased supply? Still the nano ribbons are doing pretty decently, I would say, compared to the ships themselves. So at the moment maybe you're better off doing selling the resources straight to the market because of the melted nano ribbons going up quite a bit more than producing the ships, because the Loki and the Tengu is going back down again, and the Tengu it's holding on, but it's really not moving as much as the melted nano ribbons have been doing. So Galente fuel blocks, we know that's not going to move much. Technetium still stable, just below 80,000 ISK, so I don't think we can expect anything serious there unless they all of a sudden start changing 0-0 stuff. But if I'm not mistaken, PVE is next in line, so it's actually going to be the Tech 1 market again that might see the most influence from announcements due to changes. And finally we'll have a look at the Plex, which is holding on, I'd say, above 560. Let's have a look here. 563, 553, so still around 10 million ISK margin, and 563, maybe a bit lower. I think it was 566 last week, which is interesting. Someone suggested that it's actually going to go down all the way towards the summer expansion, and he expects the bottom at around 500 million. That's still quite a long way to go. I myself don't think it's going to really break 550 anymore. So I have made a buy order, one buy order at 550, and we'll see if I can pick it up, and we'll see if the other person is right, and if 500 million might be the new bottom, and if it continues to trend down over towards the summer expansion, only to pick up back then. I think it's going to pick up sooner, but overall, at the moment, still holding above 560 million. I think we can all agree that it feels like general activity in EVE Online was very high right after the expansion. So I think that's one of the reasons as well why Plex are still holding up at around 560. So if activity stays high, I think that my bottom of 550 has a much higher chance than 500 million. If, however, a lot of people start to lose their interest in EVE Online after 1 or 2 months of the expansion, we could indeed see a slow decline that lasts quite a bit longer and a lower bottom. But at the moment, I think 550 might become the new bottom. We'll have to wait and see, of course. But there you go, guys. Quick look at the market, and I'll see you all next time.